Sometimes I think we gotta ask ourselves that question: do we want to stay on the shallow side of life, or move to the deep end of life, in which God becomes our only lifeguard?
Willing to be yourself in the sight of people, no matter what people think. I think that's what it's all about.
Welcome back to another video. Y'all already know it's your boy Tez, man. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Today I want to talk to y'all about something. I want to talk to y'all about why most companies pay a salary. I want y'all to really understand this concept. So y'all stay tuned for today's video. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, you share the video, and guess what? Do not forget to return. Stay tuned. We're gonna jump straight to the video. So look, I want to talk to y'all about something. I want y'all to understand. A lot of us can never understand why, when you think about even, we're gonna start off with trucking, since a lot of people, like to watch my videos for trucking. We're gonna think about why, before you apply to a trucking job, it says make 78,000, make 100,000. Because look at this. Every single truck that they have is calculated or on a budget that they wanted to make. And this is why you gotta be willing to put yourself in some type of budget calculation to how much you wanna make for how much or how hard you're willing to work. So I want to ask you this. Is it easier for a company to pay you a salary, or is it easier for them to pay you hourly? Now think about this. Anytime you're paid a salary is allocated as a strict amount that you're going to make guaranteed, because no matter if the company goes up or down, they're going to pay you to keep you around. So I want you to think about something. Would you be rather making money every year, the same amount of money with a little raise, or would you rather work harder getting paid hourly, because you know that the more the company generates business and the more hours you put in, the more money you're willing to make, versus you being set at a strict amount each and every year when you become more and more valuable to a company? I want y'all to think about this, because I'm going to give us a couple pointers on how we can literally adapt this if we decide to start a business. How I adapted this when I was running as an owner-operator, and how now, being paid a salary, how it's so much different perspectives into how someone else places a value on you when they pay you a salary, even when they pay you hourly, because everything is allocated inside of a budget. So look, I'm gonna tell y'all some of the mistakes of not paying yourself a salary as an owner operator, and I'm gonna tell y'all some of the very best things of paying yourself as a salary, or accepting a salary as a driver, as a worker, anything, because most companies use this salary type of philosophy to keep people in their business model. And one of the downfalls on if you do not decide to take a salary and you decide to be paid transactional, or you decide to be paid typically on an hourly basis. So I'm gonna say this: when you're paid salary, it leaves a huge paper trail when you want to go get other assets. So for instance, when I was an owner operator, when I was, operating, my trucking company or my truck, when I was driving it solely by myself, the thing that allowed me to be able to go buy a house or go buy or put down on another car to get a better car was actually how much I was willing to pay myself. So me, for instance, I was paying myself $900 gross, which turned out to be around $650 to probably $700 a week, which you can calculate how much that would be a year. And check this out. That made it seem like I was getting paid from a company, which it was my company, to leave a paper trail for if I wanted to get a car note, and a car note would have to be fit into how much I was making per month to see if I can afford it, whether that be a house, a car note, whatever the case may be. So check this out. Anytime we aren't willing to pay ourselves a salary, we make ourselves a liability, because it doesn't look like a consistent income that's going to be guaranteed at the end of the week. So I had to learn how to get a payroll company. The payroll company that I ended up getting was Paychecks. And that's a company that a lot of y'all can use if you're a truck owner, or a lot of companies know, a lot of truck owners know about this, but Paychecks, is a payroll company, a company that, allows you and handles your taxes side, and then allows you to pay yourself. Because if I chose not to pay myself as an owner operator, what would that have meant? That would have meant that I would have had a lot of money as a 1099, and when it was time for me to go pay for something, as I provide 1099s, it wouldn't have showed me personally, but the business generated a lot of money, but it also shows the business generated a lot of expenses, which means that there's no consistency in how much I'm actually bringing home for accumulating more assets. So that's one way you can easily mess yourself up, by not using the salary method, because the salary method in this economy is used to help people go get more assets, go get new houses, go get new things that can actually help them grow. And the salary can help you generate, more stability as an employee, because that's what, the economy loves employees to have, a consistent, steady income. But let's think about the opposing side, the business side, how a salary as an employee versus you being able to pay yourself and control how much you feel you're worth that week or how hard you work, versus a company, a regular company, not your company paying you, is that they place a value on you that can be outlived. What does this mean? So say for instance, I go into, a broker position that's making about $50,000 a year, but that year was a hot year for trucking. Why don't my salary get increased to $100,000 if the company will make 15% or 20% more than what they made the year before at my salary being cut out in a budget of $50,000? So I want you to think about that, because when you take a salary, when the economy can continue to rise or fall, it can actually be a hindrance to you, because yes, you have a consistent income, but the company will make triple off what they budgeted for you to get paid. So I want you to think about that sometimes when it's time for you to go to a company and make a salary. Is what you're going to be doing there worth how much value you can be providing? Because everybody is paid typically off of their value. That's why if you own your own company, you can pay yourself on how much you feel like you're valued at. So another method with the salary is that you get paid a salary plus a bonus based on how much you produce a company, how much you produce your company. But one thing is that a salary puts you in a cap, it puts you in a box. Now, how many people wants to work at a job year after year after year and still be within the same rims of monetary value when you're growing, when you're getting better, when you are able to add more value in the area of your, job? So this can go both ways, but I understand that everybody, that has a business understands that the salary method is such a huge business technique, because for individuals that have the mindset of always wanting to have a stable income so they can pay their bills, or so that they can, go out there and buy a nice car and just live a comfortable life, the salary method is the hugest method when it comes to hooking people into your company. So maybe you should adapt this, but when it comes to you wanting to grow and you wanting to, be more in this world, that's where you gotta adapt the risk mentality, which is not a salary method. Which is not a salary method, but actually is the method of you understanding that me as an owner-operator, how much money I make is how much money I'm willing to go out there and put in the work in. There was no salary. So if there's any drivers out there, any new people who want to go into driving, who, want to see like how much is a good amount to make, that determines on how much you feel you'll be valuable in that economy, in that year, in that, spectrum of trucking, in that market. But many companies have you budgeted into how much they want you to make. And I think this is where the downfall comes in at wanting to become a company driver versus become an owner-operator, because nobody can put you in a value box when it comes to owner-operator, because you can run however much you want to run and make however much you want to make. But if you're not willing to pay yourself like myself, as I did as an owner-operator, then you can actually lose out on the ability to accumulate more things. I was able to buy myself a nice Mercedes-Benz because of W-2, because of understanding the value of paying myself a certain amount or getting paid a certain amount that can look good for a paper trail. Being an owner-operator, being 1099 doesn't really leave much of a paper trail when it comes to going out there to accumulate things that can make you live in a state of comfort or look at the fruits of your labors. Because in the realm of being a business owner is about doing what? Keeping the business afloat and having a lot of expenses to keep the business afloat. But when it comes to being a regular employer, operating as a regular employee, it's about having a consistent, stable income that actually can allow you to go out there and put down on things and build things in your life. When it came to me building my credit came from me understanding how much I'm willing to put aside as an employee to help build my credit. And this was something that helped me also be able to buy a nice car because of the salary method. So I want y'all to understand that never, ever take many companies' words on just taking anything as a salary, because it can come with its ups and downs. In certain economies, a salary can be good. If a company is making less money, they still are obligated to pay you. But if a company is making triple the amount of money off of you, you should be paid more. And I think this is where a lot of individuals, in this world fail to understand that. Yes, a salary can be good in many different forms, but it also can be a pro when it comes to, well, not a pro. It can also become a con when it comes to how much value you're adding at different seasons and different markets in this lifetime. So I wanted to share that with y'all, because I know a lot of people want to know why, when it comes to gigs or trucking gigs, it's a certain make $80,000 a year. That's because that's on the high end of that company's budget, how much they're willing to pay you. But if you want to make $150,000, you may have to get out there, become an owner operator, and pay yourself the 150 because every single company you work for have a budget for your position. And I think that's something that we all need to understand, that if we want to be valuable in this lifetime, we can be the only ones that put a salary on how much we're worth. I wanted to share that with y'all today. I hope that makes sense for a lot of y'all. I hope y'all can learn something from it. Y'all stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see y'all next.
Find who you are, live in spirit, and find peace.
Our lives are meant to be legacies for somebody else, for generations to come. And we got to continue to walk after that and do things that are courageous.